Hello, I'm gonna read my visual poem on Sator Square. It's a visual poem, so I will share with you the images. There is a square, and you can read it as you should read by the Pass of the Bull, that is by Ostrofedron. Here, Sator, Opera, Tenet, Arepa, Rhodes. What I did for this poem, I developed each letter into a word, into a name. Consonant became male names, vowels became women's name, and here's a Sisis, Ala, Tolot, Oka, Rufor, Oka, Philip, Eve, Rufor, Ala, Tolot, Eve, Nonon, Eve, Tolot, and so on, very symmetrical, as it was in original square. And the next step, each name, each word is developed into a phrase. And this phrase are set by the spirals. Some goes from outside to inside. The women's develop from inside, open up to outside. And again, we read them following this Bustrophodon sequence from the top left to the bottom right, or in any other direction, as you can read Sator Square. The next step is to develop each sentence into a short story or a short visual poem. And here it's again very symmetrical. The first sentence of each poem is the same as its last sentence. The second is the one by last, and so on. And in the central, there is a phrase that we already saw on this spiral. And here I will read this central phrase in the sequence defined by Sator Square. Theseus looks up as there is a moment he is living for, the only moment right now when he reaches the limit, the top of the nearest dome, and he frees holding his breath, and beating of his heart stops in his ears, and he can look outwards just for one glance at the undescribable and impossible, and hear the symphony of the stars to remember it for another year. Hey, Allah. Allah rises over her lover. She pours fragrant oil on his chest. She moves slowly and carefully. She rushes him and carries him. She breathes into his mouth, and the young man on the bed inhales for the first time. Tolot. Tolot turns around and shouts and points to the window where the plane takes off into the air, slowly, without a sound, and disappear into the sky. But no one looks at him, and the moment is gone, and their departure is postponed again for another hour. Oko. Oko rotates the telescope axis until it points to a small group of stars, barely visible among other group of stars, looking like a cloud of remote fog among the erased constellations. Rufu. Rufu raised his chin fist over the table. His face shines unbearably brightly inside the frame, and in a moment splinters scatter in every direction. Oko. Philip. Philip sees a familiar dream. F gets an apple from her bag and drops her dress to resemble, no, not resemble, but match exactly the naked woman in the portrait. She makes one more step towards her. Rufer. A. Ella. T. Tolot. E. F. N. Nonon. Nonon invites his assistant to the stage. He kisses her hand and covers her with a soft, scary cloth. Still, the edge of her dress is visible under the cover. He waves his hand, then shouts to stop the show before it's too late, before the cover is pulled off. But the cloth is already fallen down to the floor, and there is nobody behind it. E, if, T, Dolot, A, Ella, A, Rufus, E, F, P, Philip, O, Oko, A, Rufus, O, Oko, T, Dolot, A, Ella, C, Scissors, Sator, Opera, Tenet, Repo, Rotus. Thank you very much for your attention.